Okay, this is from Greece. Okay, these are the rocks you can find, small rocks from the railway modelers. And this is something very special. I keep it like a treasure. And if you find a fallen tree on the roots, there are many tiny roots. And if I cut it that root with many tiny roots in it, wrapped it in a piece of paper tissue, and placed it aside. When it dries, the tiny roots broke down, all the dry mud broke down, and in the end I have a perfect mixture which is perfect for ground like you can find in this forest. Yeah. Keep your eyes open, you will find many good material which is for free. Okay, so this is the base. Now let it dry for a few days, shake it, and the loose material will fall down, and then we start with the next step. The next step is, of course, we don't leave the color like it is. I never leave the colors like they are straight out of the box. For grass, for example, for groundwork, for example, I always make an overspray with colors. So, because this is like I don't have it under control. If I make an overspray with colors, I have it under control. And I told you before, I start with a very dark base, and I add light and shadow with the airbrush in it. So next is to make an overspray. I start with a mixture of several colors. Here, for example, I use Tamiya Flat Earth. Flat Earth in combination with khaki. Not the best light here, but anyway. And a bright buff. So, hopefully, this center works. Yeah, perfect. Some thinner. I add a little more thinner. I see many people in my workshops which are using too less thinner. I say less is more. This means less color for the first layer is better than covering everything with a thick layer of color. You don't have it under control. If you are painting your vehicle, less is more. Add less color and more thinner. Makes the colors more thin than probably in the past.
So start with more thinner, you are saying.
Yeah, always. It's equal what you do. Always a lot of thinner. If you are doing a weathering, add a lot of thinner. If you are painting, add a lot of thinner. I show you why. I'm covering it. I'm doing the first layer now. And like I've seen many vehicles in the competition are too dark, because the people start with a color which is too dark, and add the weathering, and they are surprised that vehicle turns darker than they expected. So add more bright colors, more light colors, hopefully, and the colors always tend darker during the process as you started. So and if you have a dark base, the amount of colors is the amount of layers is in the end the effect of brightness. For example, here I started with the first layer. It is covered and is okay. So let's do the highlight. I have the same color. I do it in an extreme way. See? You don't have to add any brighter colors to add more highlights and shadows. If you start with a thin first layer, add an additional layer, add an additional layer, and an additional layer, in the end you get highlights and shadows.
So you are saying it should be like a gradient. Start from
Yes.
dark and get it to bright.
Yes.
Okay, and also use it more thinner to flatter, like.
I use a
I
very
get it.
thin layer. The
Yes,
first
yes.
la-
That's
all
why
the-
you are saying more thinner.
Yes.
You are saying.
So the first layer, you
dark
see,
to bright.
from dark to bright. So again, here we start. And I want to make some traces really bright.
Because they are more dried.
Not, okay, they are more dry, and I want to make it interesting. This is nothing more boring than one color. It's the base which is covered is one color. It's boring. This is the first step. You make it interesting. Highlights and shadows. You don't need a lot, but you add some natural color on it, and you produce highlights and shadows.
Is it also possible to spray it with a very narrow angle to make it very detailed?
Yeah, and
like that, for example.
yes, it's also important the angle you are using your airbrush. If you are almost 90 degrees, it's like that. Yeah? It's a line. If you add it like that, you create shadows. Yeah. And so play with your airbrush, and it's important to have that your the thinner is enough when you can add a line like that. Yeah. Okay? It's like a pencil, yeah? And if you're going into distance, it's wider. Yeah? Or that. But if you are using too less thinner, you are not able to do it. So, that's enough. Okay? Want to give it a round? So, we clean it afterwards. So, just small cleaning. Just leave it as this. And always keep your airbrush clean. Investigate a lot of time to clean the airbrush afterwards. This saves time for the next airbrush session. You don't have to use expensive thinner or for cleaning your airbrush. I use cheaper, like alcohol, high alcohol or something like that to clean it. But we will do it afterwards. Okay. Okay. So, if it's painted in that way, we did it here. So, like I told you before, it's nice, and for many modelers it's okay, but we will do something more. So now it's time to do a weathering. And so the first step of weathering is to tone it down. And this is what I told you before. First, started with black, highlight it up, and now we're toning it down.
With washes.
With washing. Mm-hmm. So I use a brown wash from Ammo, which is my favorite also for tanks. But I do it in a diluted way. Brown wash. If you want to have your washing or your colors working well, add a metal ball in it.
I was all dried up.
Yeah, yeah. And some material dries up very quick, unfortunately. And this is a dark brown wash. This is a brown wash. And of course, we don't want to have it too extreme. We have a middle tone mixed together from both. But never use it directly. Always dilute. Always dilute it. And one is to rescue. So, first of all, we start. With the washing, but you don't have to do the washing over the whole work. And if you want to make some different effects, you can add a darker one here in the traces and the lighter one. You don't have to cover all. But if you have to cover that area which should be dark and muddy, and you see our highlights are almost hidden. The highlights are there, but they're blended. And it's better to make it in 2 or 3 separate sessions than to overdo it. Yeah? If you add too much dark color, it's always difficult to repair. Wait until tomorrow, wait until it's dry, and then add another layer. Better to use to work in 2 or 3 layers than in only 1. Okay, then we come almost to the stage like we have here. Interesting colors. To add additional effects, we wait here until it comes back. There are really nice colors, earth effects, natural earth effects, and natural fresh mud effects. It is these are thin pigments, highly thin pigments which dry out completely dry, and which give you very pleasing earth effect. Yeah? First, do it in that way, and then earth effect. Earth effect. Again, highly diluted. Again, not everywhere, but in some points you want to add special effects. So that's enough, not more. Huh? I added that effect. You cannot see at the moment, but this helps to create a base like that. So this is now the effect of all the steps we have done previously. Wait. Okay. Some recommendations. There is some other material which you can get, which works in the same way like earth effect or the muddy ground effect. It like mud or splashes. Yeah, it works in the same effect, and these colors are really good on your vehicles. These colors are like in a consistency like honey, and these are less like honey, Yeah, how should I say, sticks, yeah. And if you add some plaster in it, only a minimum amount of plaster, and mix it together, you can make such a good mud on your vehicles, and a mud texture. You get a good mud texture on your vehicle, and the splashes are more liquid. Yeah, it's the same color but more liquid. But I recommend this for natural effects on your vehicles. Old school technique, but good technique. If you have done everything in that way, you want to bring some more out the texture of your groundwork. So good old technique is, and it's a quick technique, to do some dry brushing. Dry brushing with a bright tone. We have here, I recommend for dry brushing, not the dry brushing colors, I recommend oil colors, because it works much longer than dry brushing colors on your brush than the dry brushing colors. The dry brushing colors dry very quick on your brush. The oil colors, you can work a little longer with it. So, and I think I use that one for example. Dry brushing, same as for vehicles. Dry brushing, I use the oil color now on my brush to see how it works. Too much color on it. Is it enough? I don't know. I tried out on my hand, in the back of my hand, and if there is almost invisible, then it's okay. Otherwise, it's too much. And so I accentuate some stones, roots, and work for more texture, and
you're highlighting the
and
texture.
I'm highlighting the texture and bring out details. So you see here, it's old school, but it works. Old school probably in the way you are using it. I'm using it also for vehicles we talked about. Yeah. If you have a vehicle with many details on it, if you are dry brushing in a very gentle way and not in an aggressive way, in a very gentle way, you see the details are coming out, and then you can continue. Okay. So now we've done the base color of the groundwork, and I told you before, work with glossy and dry effects on your groundwork. So for this reason, I wanted to create a muddy street. A muddy street, everyone would say, okay, that's easy. I work with wet effects. And the first effect is perfect to add wet places on your diorama. But wait until tomorrow and the effect is gone. So you can work with it, but it needs several layers. The other example is to work with material like we have here, modeling water. It's from Noch or from other brands. It's
Ready to use.
like a
Clear resin.
clear. Yeah. It's
From the railway.
it's from the railway. Yeah, it's not a resin. It's
We also
like an
have
acrylic.
this
It's water
product in
based.
Turkey. We also have this product in Turkey.
You have it. Okay. Yeah.
We have tons of tren modelers.
Okay. Okay. So we need some water. So again, you see, again, I dilute every material.
You diluted this? Sorry, I missed
Yes,
that.
with water
With water. You got it.
for blending it.
Okay.
I use the normal ones straight out of the bottle. But if you do it in that way, it looks like we have here. Yeah, you see it. Yeah? And you have to blend it to get more natural effects. So this is why I'm using water.
So it will dry out something like this. It will stay like that.
It dries out. You will see the effects on the left from you. Here is this one I've done now, and on the outer edge of it I've done a few days before. So with you would see it. And if you work with wet effects, you have to add several layers, and it shrinks down, and the effect is not as effective like we have here. in that way.
Until now, I have a question. You started with Tamiya color texturing. Can we use acrylic colors, or are you offering this kind of?
Of course. I recommend the new atom colors from Ammo, which are very you get very good effects. It's not a marketing gag. It's really not a marketing gag. I compared the old Ammo colors to the new atom colors, and if you use the thinner for the atom colors, it flows from your airbrush without any difficulties, very thin, very good effects. You can paint it with the brush as well, and there are I'm fascinated about them with the brass. If you know the ammo belts are always a problem to paint ammo belts, because there are some alklat colors which work very natural, but the brass color from ammo, the atom range, breathtaking effects.
But
So
are atoms acrylic?
atoms are acrylic.
So, for example, we have old bottles with yellow cap,
Yeah,
for example.
yeah.
So they're okay. So
They're-
we don't need animal for the base.
No animal. This I used the Tamiya because I always used it. But if you have sandy colors from the atom range, from ammo, from AK or something else, mix it together. Yeah.
With water-based acrylic is okay.
Always water-based acrylics is the product I use all the time. Enamels I only use for washing. So you saw the effects, additional effects. You see, we are blending it. And again, a material which is very useful. It's called Liquitex Gloss Gel. Why it's useful? You see, it's more. It's not liquid as the other one. It's water-based. it's glossy, and it adds a texture on your surface which is like a flowing mud. Here you have a sharp texture. If you add this texture is soft, is smooth. Yeah? Sometimes you need it, sometimes not.
And it's dry clear.
Yeah. But, like you said, it's for muddy effects. So I combine a few things together. Where I want to have flowing mud, I add this one. Where I want to have wet mud, I take that one. Okay. Just to show you. Again. So, and I want to show you two things more. First of all, puddles with ice. And the second thing is we add some snow. You still have time? You want to see it?
Yes.
Okay.
Of course.
Of course? Okay.
Till breakfast.
I don't know if someone is waiting for dinner.
I don't have children.
Okay, good. So,
Neither
first of all, it's important we start with snow. Important because if you start with the water and you add the snow, it's a good way to destroy the water. Yeah? And so, first of all, we work with the snow. And there is a good set. There are several products, but there is a all-inclusive set from Ammo, which includes the binder, the wet snow, the powder snow. This is what you need. What is the difference between wet snow and powder snow? You can see wet snow is more grayish. Powder snow is pure white. So if you should know when to use both. Yeah, you can combine both together. And I saw oftenly snow effects where the surface was covered with it and some glue on it to hold it to the surface. Okay, you can do. But we do it in a different way. So, this is my water. Okay. We do it in a different way. So first of all, we need snow. And then we need the binders. The binder and some water. Okay.
I thought that binder is not white. It's
Yeah,
translucent.
yeah, it's translucent. You should use a clean brush for it, you should know. And some water, of course, and the binder. Binder and some drops of water. It's also possible to use that material.
Look.
It's important to make it smooth, like a pudding. So, works. It works. It works. So you see the consistency. Okay, and now let's do it. I want to do it in a limited area. Okay, more. More. Wet snow, powder snow.
Can we use at this stage to do directly onto the surface?
Yes.
The powder
The powder,
onto the
if it's too wet, it flows away,
Mm.
and you wanna have some volume.
Mhm.
If it's too liquid, not good. If it's too stiff, not good. So, so.
It flew somehow, but it's okay, huh?
And
Natural.
it was too liquid.
Mhm.
That doesn't matter.
Looks natural.
No, too much natural. It shouldn't flow. If you have too less powder snow in it, it flows away. But
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
Okay. Yeah, I meant that.
So you see, I add it directly, and again.
You're both mixing and pouring.
Yeah. So. Okay. If it's too liquid, it flows. If it's too stiff, it doesn't look natural. So you have to find your way between. So what we do now is, again, if you are satisfied with the structure, you have to blend it. You have to blend the edges with water or with a clear water effect. And again, blending the edges. And again, now we use wet snow. So that's it. To create natural snow.
When this one dries, does it protect the volume or get shrink?
A little, it shrinks a little. But if you are not satisfied, like you have seen on my Norway diorama, on the next day I added a separate layer, a separate layer, and with you can add, and it shrinks a little, of course.
It's not.
So this is the material I recommend, and but wet streets, muddy streets, streets with snow have oftenly puddles covered with ice, and I want to show you how to produce the ice and to produce that effects. So